Down here laying out our Azolla pond. Azolla is an aquatic fern that easy to grow and very nutritious for your animals. A lot healthier actually than pelletized feeds, but you can only use up to 50% of the feeds for the animals. So it's easy to grow. So we're going to have a pond that's approximately 5.5, 6 feet wide by 24 feet long. Should be able to harvest about 3 kilos a day or more, 3 to 4 kilos a day, and that'll be more than enough for the number of animals that we have at the moment, and see how that works out to make the farm more sustainable and spend less money on foods. So here is a look at what we're doing. I just laid out this morning a approximately 6 by 24 foot long set of strings, posts, and the neighbor here, strong as a mule, out here working in the hot heat, probably knocked this thing out in no time flat. So we'll pay him well for his efforts, and that'll save me from having a heart attack. So anyhow, we'll check back later as we progress on this and give you a look at it again. Taking a look at the progress. Looks like he's about 3/4 of the way done, and be able to finish it tomorrow. And then I will lay down the tarpaulin and stake it all down, and you only need about 2.5 to 3 inches of water, and you put a little bit of cow manure in the bottom for fertilizer, and you can put a little bit of dirt in there as well, maybe some compost or something, and you just replenish that on a monthly basis or so. Make sure the water stays at level, so you're gonna have to add water, and it grows very, very fast. In 2 weeks you'll have a full amount and of Azolla. It'll be completely full, and you'll have to harvest it daily in order to keep it thinned out. So that's the update. Cutting the ledge to lay the tarpaulin on and secure it to the ground so it's all level. And once that's done, we'll put her together, get it growing. Okay, he has finished digging the Azolla pond, and we got the ledge around the edge here to lay the tarp evenly. I'll probably put some heavy, large pieces of bamboo, like 4 to 5 inches in diameter, down each side and the ends, with some rebar through it to hold the bamboo down on top of the tarp. And the bottom's fairly level, so it can't go anywhere anyways, but then I might pile a little dirt over top of the sides of the tarp just to keep it out of the sun. And once the Azolla is growing inside, it should block out most of the sun from the rest of the tarp. But basically almost done. And I'll let this water dry up before I lay the tarp later in the week and get her rolling, so in a couple of weeks we could start feeding Azolla. I previously mentioned that you can supplement up to half their feeds with Azolla, but in reality, you can feed them all Azolla after they get used to it. You don't want to just drastically change their feeds all at once, but if you introduce it slowly, you can eventually get to the point where they can eat all Azolla, because it's over 20% protein and has a lot of good vitamins and minerals, and is a really good food source, as good as any commercial feed from what I understand. At least that's what they're saying here locally. Nobody right here in the immediate area uses it, but there's a lot of people in the Philippines who do. And I may not feed 100% Azolla, but definitely going to use it to cut down on my feed costs. And there's not much investment. I think I probably have a total of $40 into the whole thing, so with the labor included, and a piece of tarp, and then I can get bamboo for free, and I've got some old rebar pieces laying around for previous projects, and then the Azolla starts are next to nothing. So it should be a free source of food for the chickens and for the pigs, and if it's truly able to supplement all their feeds, then I'd be down for that. You know, not having to pay for feeds is definitely a good thing, and if it works out really good, I'll give it some time. We'll go like over a long period of time and see how everything's working. And if it works out good, you may see more of these. I might make, you know, a few of them and try to maximize it. Not paying for feeds at all for your animals would be huge, and definitely make raising pigs more profitable than it would otherwise be. I'm mainly in it because I like pork a lot, and I like to control the quality of it, and I enjoy raising pigs. So, and chickens, I like eggs a lot, and I like chickens, so those are the two easiest things to raise in the Philippines. So that's where we're starting. Gonna go from there. So anyways, another small update on the chicken pen. They like the perches. They've been using them. I don't think they sleep on them yet, at least not all of them. They like to huddle together for heat because they're fairly new to, I mean, it was only a couple weeks ago that they were off of heat, and they're just now getting fully feathered, so they're used to a lot of heat, and chickens have a pretty good temperature, body temperature to begin with. But anyways, so I had just temporarily wired the roost together, the bamboo roost, and was wondering how I could get it a little tighter than it was. Talked to the wife, and she suggested I use the rubber bands or the rubber pieces of inner tube, and that was a great suggestion. So I grabbed some more of that, and it's holding together really well. And then the father-in-law said if you notch it out, the vertical pieces, it'll kind of suck down in a little bit, and it won't budge at all. And he's right. So that was a great suggestion, and it worked out really good. So I've seen them all the way up on the top, and they'll fly all the way up there. So at this age, they're light enough where they can fly almost straight up if they need to. As they get older and heavier, Rhode Island Reds are pretty good size, so they have a harder time flying straight up as they get older, but they'll be able to get on this roost no problem and kind of go up it like stairs, and there's enough room for where they can get anywhere they want to get on it. In the long term, we're only going to have 6 or 7 in each side, so I think what I'm going to do is I have 3 roosters and 12 hens, so I was going to put 6 hens and a rooster in each side eventually and incubate some eggs, and then have some free rangers as well. And but the extra rooster that we have, I was thinking about just trying it out to see how I like it as meat. And I've heard it's pretty good. It's a little different than most commercial chicken, in a good way. So I just want to try it out. So we'll probably butcher one of the roosters at the appropriate age and see how that is. Anytime it rains, you get frogs coming out of the woodwork, and we got them in our compost pile. These, Catherine calls them American bullfrogs, but she also says they're poisonous, which, as far as I know, real American bullfrogs, or bullfrogs in America, I should say. I don't know what they're actually called scientifically, but they're not poisonous, so maybe this isn't even a frog, maybe it's a toad for all I know. They do like water, but I see them mostly on land, so especially when it's raining, they go wandering around. But that's the updates with the rubber bands on the roost. It's working good, it's really tight, and it's just sitting in there leaning and good and solid. But I can get it out of the way when I need to replenish the rice holes. I might layer it up a time or two before I replace them completely, but then I'll just throw them down there in the compost pile where we just saw the frog. Haven't organized that down there because of all the recent projects going on, but as soon as I get my Azolla pond in, I wanted to get that in because that saves you money. And then I'll start working on the cosmetics around this lower lot and getting things organized and getting like a hose reel for the hose, getting debris moved around and getting my compost pile boxed in and organized and piled up where it's actually effectively heating up and breaking down properly. And then I'm going to start gardening after that. Going to pick up our Azolla cultures that are supposed to be coming to the terminal. So they were sent on a van this morning, passenger van, and instead of having them drop it off on the way by, because Fil-Am is past where we're going, want to give me a carabao like that. Fil-Am is past where the driver is going from our place, but there's kind of a lack of communication with the seller and of the Azolla. So I'm going to go to Fil-Am and pick it up, get that Azolla growing, and then I'm going to lay down the tarpaulin today and get those Azolla cultures growing. And we've got to go to Manila, meet up with my sister for a couple of days. She brought some stuff from the States to us, and say hello to them and take care of some business at the U.S. consulate. Thought I'd give you a look at the drive between our house and the municipality of Fil-Am, which is the city that is over our barangay, Fil-Am. So barangay is generally just a small group of portion of a municipality, kind of like a little township or something that doesn't go by its own name and has a larger city nearby. For those in the USA that don't know what I'm talking about. supplement your animal feeds and cut down on the cost of feed. Not so much because I can't afford the feeds myself, but because it's just a smart thing to do. And since I'm retired and I don't have a lot of stuff to do that I have to do anyways, just learn about sustainable farming and put it into practice, and then maybe if I scale up on our 3-hectare farm instead of just in my backyard, it will pay off. I could make some very large Azolla ponds on the farm and maybe have a large piggery and sell lots of piglets and have something to do every day, and also put some extra money in the pocket and justify my existence. It's fun though. I grew up kind of a country boy, and we had hogs at various times in my childhood that my brother and I took care of, and we lived on a farm where a guy had cattle and chickens as well. He had milk cows. So we had fresh milk all the time. They shared it with us. He had large gardens and orchards, and selling bamboo. And he'd grow like raspberries and just anything to be sustainable. He was actually a pastor, and that's pretty much how he supplemented his living. He didn't take a large salary from the church. He would just take a very basic salary back in this was in the 70s and early 80s when we lived there. And he would do all that just so he didn't have to make a lot of money. He could just be the pastor and take a basic salary and use his money to invest in his pastoral duties. So most of his food came off of his own farm. They even made their own butter and ice cream and things like that. Very hard-working guy. So that kind of what introduced me to farming personally. And my mom grew up on a farm. My grandpa was not a farmer, but he had backyard chickens and animals and so forth and so on. And then the rest of my mother's side of the family all had ranches and farms of various types in Colorado. So it's kind of in the blood, and I've always wanted to do it, and it always excited me to be able to move here and live a life that was less expensive and be more self-sufficient. So I'm enjoying doing it, and there's no sense in just throwing commercial products at everything when you can slowly build up to doing it yourself. Okay, I got the Azolla cultures. So there was a van driver that just pulled in, and he brought it to me. So we are in business. So I'll check back later when we get everything together and get it growing and show you what it looks like. So here's where we're at. I'm going to get rolling on getting the rest of that water out of there and get the liner in, and then get the compost and the cow poo in there and fill her with water and get her going. Alright, so here's the update on the Azolla pond. Laid down the liner, weighted it down, put in the fertilizer and a little bit of dirt, and added water and the cultures. So probably have more cultures than we really need, but that'll just mean it'll propagate quicker and we can use it quicker. So far so good. The next step to this is going to be spreading this. I think this is what they use for a fish net here. They get on each end of it and drag it through the water to harvest their fish from their fish ponds. It's like a poly netting, and I'm going to stretch it out over the top of it so frogs can't get in there, because tadpoles will eat all the Azolla if we let frogs lay their eggs in there. So we'll spread this net over there. It's dual purpose though, because you need to have shade on the Azolla to a degree. It needs sunlight, but it also needs a bit of shade. So that is where we're at on this, and I wanted to get it done. We have to go to Manila for a few days, and I wanted it to be growing while we're gone. Go take a look at the Azolla pond after I put up the netting. Alright, I'm going to have to remove a lot of this dirt around the side of the pond and then find a permanent good way to attach the netting and be able to access everywhere around the pond. So, trying to keep frogs out of there and so forth, but the way I have it staked out currently, they could get in there if they really wanted to. I think I'll start spending a couple hours a day shoveling this dirt and getting it moved somewhere, and then come up with a system for this net where I can still skim out some Azolla daily. I didn't fill it all the way up because I haven't put my overflow drain in yet. Going to do that first thing in the morning down on the far left corner. I'll put a drain where it's about the bottom of the pipe, or the top of the pipe. Probably use a 2-inch pipe that I already have. Will be even with the very top, so it can't really go above 2 inches below the ledge there. Can't get above that without flowing out of the pipe. And I'm going to have an elbow on it that points down into the water so that only water will go out the overflow and not Azolla, so I don't lose it going out. So anyways, we're getting there. I just wanted to get it done sooner than later and start supplementing my feeds. So we accelerated it and got her done. And I'm happy with the results so far, but we still got work to do. So, getting there. Got this mess to deal with still. I'm going to organize this into get rid of some of the heavier materials out of this and pile up the composted stuff correctly where it generates some heat and breaks down more thoroughly. And then I've got some compost here and some dirt and rock from the construction project that needs to be moved down there as well. And then there's some more dirt behind the pig pen. So we'll get all that moved and get all our compost in one place and break it down the way it's supposed to. So anyways, little by little, no sense in getting in a great big hurry.